Hello everybody, in this episode we're gonna learn how to finalize our towers, which is the final one, the offensive tower. In this we're gonna learn how to spawn the tower and create a shooting item that's gonna be shot every interval, and also it gets destroyed outside the bound of the screen. Let's see how this works. So we have our last tower in the game, which is the ninja boy. So this ninja tower is gonna be the offensive one. We did the defensive and the passive, the income and the defense. So for this tower, we're gonna create mechanics that's basically gonna make him have an interval timer, and during that timer he's gonna shoot something up. And then we have an asset, we have images to shoot. He's gonna shoot some sort of like a small blade or something, because he's a ninja. And this blade is gonna keep flying forward until it hits something. But we don't have the hitting mechanics at the moment because we need, I want to say, enemy. So we're gonna create the mechanics of him shooting every now and then with the script of the, not a bullet, but the shot item. First of all, let's create the script of the tower. Let's call it tower ninja. Okay, so let's double click. Here we go. We need the following stuff: fields. We need health, cost. I want to say let's say damage, and I want to say prefab shooting item. Okay, this is going to be an item that it's getting shot. And next thing would be, I want to say, what else do we need? Cost and damage, health. I think that's almost what we need. In methods, initiate, and here we're gonna start the shooting interval. Interval for shooting, shoot an item, and then this will call this enumerator, and then every now and every X amount. Oh yes, I've remembered. Interval, shoot interval. And this enumerator will wait shoot interval amount of seconds, and then it will shoot an item, which basically is going to instantiate a game object from prefab, and then and it will do its own self. Shoot, I'm going to go lose health, and then die. I think that's basically all. Public integer health, public integer cost. Let me choose this. Let me follow the same pattern. For the previous towers, we have the cost be the last end thing here. So the damage is going to be also an integer damage. Public game object, shoot item, prefab, and a public float interval. And we know what this interval is, so we don't have to name it shooting interval. First thing we have to do is void start. As always, it's the initial one. Coroutine, okay. Enum start the shooting interval. Enum. Alright. Enumerator. Okay, shoot delay. So what's gonna happen here is we're gonna wait, yield return, new wait, not wait, for seconds, and then we're gonna wait for interval. After waiting that amount of seconds, we call shoot item method. and then we recall the same method, shoot delay. So it has more of a looping way of happening. So since we have this shooting method, let's replace here. It calls it, shoots. Now let's create the shooting script, shoot item. So what this does is instantiate shoot item and probably set its values. That's all, because what happens in the shoot item is gonna be inside the shoot item itself. Okay, and let's do it. Game object shoot item, like shot item. Okay, that's fine. Equals instantiate. Oh, and I think it's we need also an indication where it's gonna shoot. Probably from the internal, from inside this. For now, let's make him shoot from the same place of the object. Let's go prefab. That's it. And the next thing we need to do is, I'm not gonna write it because we don't have it yet. Just set the values. That's that. Lose health is just lose health. Health minus minus. If health is equals 0, die. Yes, that's not 0. And then what happens in die is, oh, why am I writing 0? We debug that log. Let's use this, just copy and paste from here. It's basically the same. Here we go. We destroy it and that's it. So shoot item is need to be called in here. That's amazing. Let's remove this. So we finished the writing part. Now we just describe what happens. So when we start, we initiate the when I call the timer of the shooting. So it waits, let's say 5 seconds, and then shoots, and then calls itself again. So it becomes a looping thing. So in the shooting, we create the object. It's called shot item, in the same place of. Probably I have to put it here, so it spawns in the same place of the, like, you know, transform here. You know what I mean? So it's the child of the object. But I don't think that's good, because if the object is dead, this stuff goes away. But again, if it's dead, that means it didn't shoot. But it's fine. So it creates the shot item and then it sets its values. Setting the values, we'll do it when we create that script. So let's have this in the to-do. Create shoot item script. Now when we lose health, we check if it's less or greater than 0, and then we die. Let's go back to the script, the scene, and then we open the prefab. Here we go, and then assign the ninja method script. So right now, let's give it a health of so for the passive tower, it has the health of 2 because it's weak. The defensive 8. This one, let's give it 4. And the damage, I don't know how strong are the enemy. Let's give it 2. Interval every 4 seconds, and the cost is let's see how much does this one cost. 5, 4. Let's keep this one as also 4. Now we have the tower set up. Let's create the script, or first of all, let's create the shooting item. So let's say this is tower, right? We need to create an image. Oh my god, it's not an image, it's basically a sprite. And I found something in here. Is this one. So this element, let's keep it towers 1. This element will looks like more of a ninja stuff. So I'm gonna add this one here, also add an animator for it, because it's it will be nicer to have it rotating for it, but I don't know why they have multiple things, it's much nicer if you just rotate the whole thing. You know what I mean? Like this. Oh, whoops. Like this. See, it's rotated. So the first thing I need to do is we need to create a sprite, call it 0, actually game object, not a sprite, game object, and we call shoot item. Good. And let's drag and drop this inside. Let's remove this guy, we don't need them. Zero this whole thing out so it's in the middle of it. Image, and in here we have to create a script. You'll see why I made a parent, because when I make a parent, it's always a good practice to have the graphics as a child of the parent, because you might need to do a lot of stuff. For example, if I want to make this rotate, make this rotate, and at the same time I want to make it move forward, so when you rotate this thing, you can see that the local axis is moving. So if I want to make it move forward, it's going to keep going in a loop, in a circle. So first of all, we're going to keep this here, add script here, and the script will take care of everything. So let's go ahead, shoot item. Let's run this. Okay, here we go. And the shoot item, we have fields. The first field is, I'm going to call it transform, graphics. It's going to be the image, the sprite. And the second thing is, I want to say damage. And what else do we need? I want to say probably, let's say, flying speed. And for methods, also I want to do something in here. I'm going to call trigger layer mask. What this means is I want to exclude all the layers apart from the enemy, so we don't get collided with anything else. Here I'm going to go initiate, and then of course we need to check trigger methods, trigger with enemy, and I think that's all. Let's see what else do we need. So let's go public sprite renderer, actually not like this, call it transform graphics, and the public integer integer damage, public float speed, and then public layer mask. I want to say enemy layer. That's it. And in here, public void init. In here we have to pass the damage. I don't think we need anything else. So when we instantiate the shoot item, we pass along the damage, because it might be dynamic depending on the level of the tower. So we just set the damage, and then here I'm gonna use on trigger, as I suppose, on trigger 2D. Yes. Okay, so if I want to say collision dot layer, the game object dot layer equals wait, how would be the best one here? Honestly, we can we don't need this. We're not going that physics based. I think we can have is we can keep it fixed. So we have objects of like this, equals, let's call it enemy. So if we interact with enemy, we do something, otherwise nothing happens. That log shot the enemy. Whatever happens to the enemy will be discussed later. So after this has happened, we just destroy the game object, And I think that's basically all, right? What we need to do is, oh yes, we need to have another thing, handle rotation. That's only for the visuals. So we have the update, and of course we need to do it in update every frame. Void rotate. So what we can do here is we can go graphics that rotate and speed. Let's have it something here. Fly speed, rotate speed. I guess we can keep it like this. Rotate speed. Well, actually, handle rotation and flying. Fly. Or just move. Honestly, it's called. It's called fly. Forward. So graphics that rotate, and if I'm not mistaken, it was the y-axis. So 0, 0, 0. Let's keep it like this. So it was mainly y or z-axis. Let's just double check again. Yeah, so it's z-axis. So let's go with minus speed rotate speed divided by, of course, time, the delta time. This is good. And flying forward will be transform that translate. I want to say transform that right, that divided by move speed, fly speed, that time, the delta time. Here we go. So let's call this stuff rotate and fly forward. We added a lot of stuff, and let's go back 1 second. Actually, let's go here. This is the shoot item. Let's go shoot item. The graphics is this image. The damage is 2, let's say. The fly speed is 2 and rotate is 5. I don't know if it's the correct values, but let's play ahead. So it should go right with a certain speed. Yep. Okay, the fly speed is a lot. The rotate speed is nothing. Here we go. Alright, so let's bring this thing here. So if we have this fly speed as 0.5, this one is 100, 400, 1. Yeah, I think 101 by 400 is enough. Yeah, just keep it by 2 by 400. And the damage, it's dependent on the thing that spawns it. So if we grab this and put it here, and we go back and delete this, if we open the third tower, we're gonna have to drag and drop this element, save it, open up here. We have to change the to-do list. So shoot item that get component, shoot item dot init, and I'll call damage. So we have to pass on the damage. So if I'm not mistaken, how long does it take for it to actually pass this whole area? It should optimally it should take let's say from the end point here, it should take it 5 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think it's fine. But the tower by default shoots every 4 seconds. That's actually very good. Now we have the tower set up. We have it already assigned. We just need to enable the cost thing here. So I think we can go ahead and test it. And we need to make sure that this shoot item gets destroyed after a while, because if it does not, we have a lot of items. If it goes away and then doesn't hit anything, which is sometimes happens, but let's go ahead and we can either put a trigger in here, which I'm gonna do. This is the level. So let's make another empty game object. Have a collider. It's good. Make it, I don't know, 5. Yeah, 6 is fine. This out of bound collider. So we just put it here. That's fine. Let's put it 8. So out of bound. And what happens is whenever we used the shot item, so if it's here, if let's make this out. Let's call it out. We don't want to write the whole thing. If we make it out, if the whole thing, let's just copy and paste it. Whenever this shot item hits the out, we also destroy it. And let's test it. It should work, but I think it won't work at the moment because we need to add elements in here. So we have to add the sphere, circle, collider. Let's have it here. It's way too big. 0.1, 0.2. 0.2 is enough. And let's keep it trigger. We have to add the rigid body, I assume, because it's gonna need some sort of a. Yep, it does need a rigid body. So let's add one in here. Rigid body and make it, pneumatic. Let's play and see this thing going closer. Boom, that's done. So that's good. And I think it's better to have it in here, in the shot item, just not have it in one place. And then that's it. So let's give it a try. Let's play the game. We have this tower spawned. Every 5 seconds it should shoot. So it shot this thing. It's rotating. Let's create another one here. And of course you see it goes out. Every 4 seconds it shoots. Boom, boom, boom. Let's create another object here. Oh, not enough currency. So see, I lost. There should be some sort of a, like whenever you kill a zombie, or sorry, like an enemy, you gain some points. So here we go. Now we have this tower. This gives me money. This shoots. I can have more towers. It gives me more money. It allows me to build more towers, etc. So with this we have a slightly more stable game. I can put this guy here and this guy here, tower here. And then we have 3 towers with initial values of them and mechanics that actually can spawn, do its action. And we're getting there. We have the game more structured. Our next goal would be creating the enemy spawning and then handling the interactions between the enemy and the towers. But for this episode, I would say this is all. And I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you did, hit the like and subscribe. Also the bell to get the latest info. Also hit questions in the comments below. Also in my Discord channel. Apart from this, I'll see you everybody in the next one. Bye bye.